Yo, what's up, people? How's it going? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. My name is Ed Harris. This is the Everything Vegan, Everyday Vegan, All Vegan. You know what it is. You know what time it is. If you're tuning in right now, that means you know what we're about to do. And that is a delicious stir fry. Now, there's a few things going on here. And I just want to, for the new people, welcome. My name is Ed Harris. And for the returning amazing people, welcome back. All right. This channel is all about creating flavorful dishes that are easy, looks great, tastes great, and it's actually great for you. So if you're on this channel right now, it's a total win. You know what I mean? If you're watching. So I'm happy that you're here. Remember, you can join me on the chef's table at any time you like. Just click on the chef's table button and it'll allow you to come up and join me. And this way, you and I can interact while I'm cooking and doing all that good stuff. You get to ask me questions right here on the spot. And if you feel inclined, we can chat. If not, you can just enjoy and watch. All right. And for my beautiful people watching the replay, welcome, welcome. Thank you again for checking it out. And I hope you are ready because this is definitely one of the things I love to do, and that's Asian food. Like, I don't even know where to start. I have trained in numerous places, numerous Asian countries, and it's just been my wheelhouse for, I would say, at least 15 years, right? I've been playing with Asian flavors. And I say play because I'm always tweaking things, adding new things, and just putting things together that might not be the traditional route, but it always comes out really amazing. So, and if it doesn't, I fix it, I tweak it, and it ends up coming out amazing. So, what can I say? All right. So let's jump into it. And with today, it's all about quick weeknight meals, weekday meals. It doesn't have to be weeknight because I'm a dad and I have three kids with my wife. And, even me being a chef, sometimes I'm like, oh man, what am I going to cook for dinner? What am I going to cook for lunch? And on top of that, I homeschool and my kids love to eat. So they're eating all day long. That's why I make it my mission to make sure that there is really good, wholesome, healthy food at home always, right? And if I'm doing something on the fly, then what can I do that's super healthy? So stir fries is always a go-to when it comes to wanting to come up with something really quickly because literally a stir fry can be anything, anything. So whatever vegetables you have in your refrigerator, you can turn it into a stir fry. All right. And your stir fry doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be Asian flavored, right? It could be some Asian ingredients, it could be some Spanish, Italian, African, whatever flavors you have. You can make a stir fry, right? The idea is how you prepare it, right? That's what makes it a stir fry, really. So today I'm going to go over the ingredients I have. And one thing I like to do with my recipes and my stream is I'll give you a very basic recipe, but then I will show you a different way to do things, right? So you have options. You can do the visual way or you can do the written way. Either way is delicious, but I like to always, change things up, and just show you the expert level, the way I would normally do things, right? And I love creating flavor. And one way to create flavor is how you prepare each and every ingredient that you're going to use for your stir fry. Now, a lot of people will just take a bunch of vegetables, saute it, throw some sauce in there, and call it a stir fry. And, that'll be okay, to each his own. But for me, I feel the way to really maximize flavor is the way I'm going to show you visually how to do this, right? And it's all about cooking certain ingredients individually first and then bringing it together to make your stir fry. All right? So, with a stir fry, you can use a saute pan or you can use one of these, right? This is a wok. This is a stainless steel wok, and I love using woks. Um, it provides a little bit more of an authentic flavor if used properly. And the way to really use a wok properly is you have to get it ripping hot. All right. You can't do stir fry in a cold pan. You don't. All right. So what we're gonna do, I'm letting this get hot right now. I wanted to show you this beautiful oyster mushroom that we're gonna be working with. Right. Look at this. Right. Freshly harvested. Like these I bought on Saturday at the farmers market. Like they just got clipped the day before. Right. I have a really amazing relationship with the farmers at the farmers market, so I get really good stuff. All right. So what we're gonna do with these oyster mushrooms and the recipe that I'm gonna give you, I have it where it just says mushrooms because I know not everyone can get access to really amazing mushrooms. So that's not to say that your stir fry is not gonna be as good. I just wanted to give you options. All right. So you can do button mushrooms, you can do beautiful oysters like these. You can also do shiitakes, which are a go-to for stir fry, right? But we're here, so we can literally use any mushroom we want. And you see, this is literally just the nub that's left. That's all we're getting rid of. But not to worry, because I know a lot of my viewers have been asking me, how do I pick, cook, clean mushrooms? So I decided that tomorrow for my second stream, it's gonna be all about mushrooms, right? And we're going to show you different varieties. We're going to show you how to clean them. We're going to show you a very simple way to cook them and just create flavor with them. So not to worry. All right. So make sure you join me tomorrow for that. All right. So these beautiful caps, right? These gills here on the bottom. All right. And the cool thing about getting mushrooms at the farmer's market, 9.9% of the time, they're super clean. Like you don't even need to do anything. All right, so I'm gonna just give these a little rough chop real quick, like nice little strips, because you're gonna see when I show you the rest of the ingredients that we're using today, they all kind of have similar cuts. And you wanna do that when you're doing stir fry because you want everything to cook evenly. So you're not gonna have really big chunks of one thing and then really small pieces of something else. You're gonna get a lot of uneven cooking, and then it's not gonna be the best. All right, so we don't need too much mushrooms, although I love me some mushrooms. And remember, mushroom has a very high water content. So when you cook these, they will drop down in size to about half. So just remember that when you're cooking your mushrooms. All right, just a quick note about using mushrooms. Okay, so I'll put these over here to the side, get them out of the way. We have our mushrooms. So now let's go over the ingredients of everything that we have. I have fresh cilantro that I just soaked in a bunch of ice cold water to make them pop and brighten them up. Ginger, scallion whites, garlic, spicy chilies. I have broccoli florets, nice and small. All right, so these can cook quickly. I have some onions sliced. I have my pressed tofu right here. I have some beautiful Shanghai bok choy that I got from the farmer's market as well. I cut these into quarters because they were really nice and solid and thick. And if you notice, there are almost no leaves on these because the leaves, they cook like that. And you can actually eat the leaves raw. So I like to separate them so I can get a nice sear on these and then add in the leaves last minute. I have our purple cauliflower. I've been thinking about cauliflower all day. So excuse me. I mean purple cabbage. And I have my scallions in here. This is water, cold water with some ice. It's gonna make these pop and brighten up. And then last but not least, cucumbers. And you might ask, why cucumbers? Cucumbers is very nostalgic for me because when I lived in South America, all of the Chinese restaurants, when we would buy fried rice and stir fry and noodles and stuff like that, it would come with cucumbers. And I just always like that flavor. So I have some there. You can add cucumbers to your stir fry after it's done. You don't have to. It's totally up to you. I'll show you how I do it. I don't actually cook them. So don't be like, what? Cucumbers in your stir fry? Yes. It's not really in the stir fry. It's more like a garnish. All right. So let's get down to business. Okay, first things first, we want to make sure that your pan is nice and hot. if you're using a wok, you want to make sure that your wok is really seasoned. All right. And seasoned simply means that whatever I cook inside, it's not going to stick all over the place. All right. So for you to season your wok, you want to get it super hot and then you want to give it a nice coat of oil just so that the oil gets into the pores of the steel and that allows you to do this beautiful non-stick situation. All right. So we're going to get this hot to the point where it's almost smoking, right? And then I have my fryer over here that I'm gonna borrow some oil from so I can season this pan. Now, first things first, we're gonna fry up our tofu, all right? And once that's done, we're gonna move on to the things that we need to just give an initial sear to. Because once you put a bunch of things into your wok, the temperature drops and you're almost not sauteing anymore and it becomes liquid in there, and now it's really more like a saucy stir fry situation, and you only want that at the very end. All right, so this is why I'm going to do this initial searing of certain things like the mushrooms, the tofu, the broccoli, and the cabbage, right? And the bok choy. These 5 things I'm going to sear first, okay? I have my traditional wok spoon here as well. Don't play with me, man. You know what time it is. It's stir fry time, baby. All right. Towel, because this is stainless steel, so everything gets hot. All right. I can hold it up to here, but the closer I get, the hotter it gets. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil in and stir it around. And you see that smoke, right? Yeah. You want to make sure that we get the oil all around, because anywhere that the oil does not touch, it is going to stick. All right. So we do that, we get the oil. So you definitely don't want to do this with kids around. You want to be very, very careful. So now I'll add a little bit more oil. We're gonna let that get hot. Stir it around like this. And now we're gonna add our tofu first. All right, a pinch of salt. A little black pepper. See, no sticking. That's what we want. Beautiful. Because tofu is wet. But because we got a really nice seasoned pan, we can do this with no issue. So we're gonna just let this fry up real quick. And the reason we're doing tofu is for texture, really, right? A little bit of protein and just that mouthfeel. All right. Let me put on the vent. Story of my life. I set the alarms off.
I didn't know it works.
Thanks, babes. Look at that. We're good to go. And now that's the second alarm. Thanks, babes. So a paper towel, right into our bowl, because I want to get rid of the excess oil that might be left over after we take these out of the wok. All right. Bring that. Put that in there. Okay. So we have a little bit of oil left. We're gonna add just a touch more, because now we're going with our mushrooms. Make sure that gets nice and hot. pinch of salt, very little salt, right? Everything that I sear, I'm adding just a pinch of salt to it because you want to give it just a touch of flavor from the salt, all right? See, and the mushrooms are ready, just like that. Okay, add a touch bit more oil. We don't need a lot because now we're doing the cabbage and the broccoli. All right, so almost no oil for these. Almost no oil. We're gonna let that get a little ripping. All right, so the idea here is to develop beautiful flavor on the ingredients. All right, before you add them. All day, all day. Okay, all right. So once you add your cabbage, don't move it around. Don't do anything. Just leave it in the pan, just like that. You want to char your cabbage. This is gonna get really nice flavor. It's gonna make the cabbage pop, and it's gonna be really delicious. All right. Pinch of salt, not a lot. A little bit of pepper. And charring of your cabbage brings out the natural sugar, which is really great. All right, so there's way flavor, way more flavor that you can bring out. All right, so you see, I'm not touching it. I know it's hard. You put stuff in there, you want to move it around, just leave it alone. Give it about 30 seconds to a minute, full heat. All right, this is cooking full blast. All right. Okay, now we're gonna toss it and take it off because remember we don't want to fully cook anything that we're doing right now, right? In terms of the cabbage. Okay, remove these, put them into the bowl. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get this nice and hot for the last thing, which is our broccoli. And if you're wondering where I got these mad wok skills from, I got them from Budokan. I worked there for 5 years, and it was one of the most amazing experiences ever, right? So shout out to the Budokan crew. Okay, so next up we have our cabbage. Notice there's no oil in here, right? I'm just dropping the broccoli in. And then what I'm gonna do is just kind of wet the back of the ladle and just drizzle some oil in there. Not a lot, just a little. Right? A pinch of salt, very little. Char broccoli is also really tasty. All right, now we can add our bok choy because we don't have a lot of broccoli in here, so they can share the wok together. Right? Look at that. Look at that. Okay, we're almost ready to do this, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay. Once you see your bok choy and broccoli getting bright, you know it's time to remove it. So now I'll move these out of here. I'm gonna turn the flame down. Yes, these are totally ready. Oh yeah. And the smell already smells amazing. Oh my goodness. And you can see the char, right? It's anyway. So we have our initial stuff going, right? So now for the fun part. So loud. Okay, about 2 tablespoons of oil. Right? You don't want too much. And to this, we're gonna add our ginger. We're gonna add our scallion whites, our garlic, our chilies, and our onions. And we're gonna turn the flame up. All right. Now the thing about wok cooking, it's very fast, so you have to be ready to go. Turn this back on. Okay. So now we can add in our tofu. Our mushrooms. And you notice what I'm adding in first, because these are things, no matter how long they're in there, they'll be fine. But cabbage, broccoli, and bok choy, they can overcook and get really mushy. And stir fry should never be mushy. It should be nice. They should have, the vegetables should have a nice bite to them. Okay. Okay. So now we have our, get these out of the way, make some room. Let's go with our cabbage. Then our bok choy and broccoli. Okay. I know you see this. I know you see it looks good already. All right. And then in here I have soy sauce, sesame oil, and ABC sauce. ABC sauce is more like a sweet soy sauce. So if you don't want it sweet, you can omit the ABC sauce. But I like it because it just rounds out everything. Okay. Pour this over. And then we give it a toss. That looks amazing. Right? Now for the raw bok choy leaves. I'm gonna turn that off. All right. I'm gonna take my cilantro and give it a nice rough chop, because I love to add herbs to my. So loud. I love fresh herbs in all my dishes. It doesn't matter what cuisine, what nationality, I'm always adding herbs. All right. If you don't like cilantro, you can add some Thai basil. You can add parsley if you want. Parsley don't really go with stir fry, but cilantro and basil 100% does. All right. So this is gonna go right in. And you notice I haven't flipped, I haven't tossed, so the leaves are still nice and raw. You know, this is how you cook stir fry. All right. Everything in its place, mise en place, right? Everything in its place. So this way, now I can turn the fire back on if I want to just give it an initial, one more little sear, give a pinch of salt on the top. All right. And then like this, we're done. Beautiful. No grease, no sauce, no nothing, no liquid, no water. Beautiful stir fry. All right. Now you can have this with noodles. You can have this with rice. I love rice, so you know I have some cooked rice already. All right, so we're gonna turn that off, and let's plate this up, and we'll take a nice bite, right? Because I'm gonna plate two because I need to take a picture. So, steamed rice always works really nice, right? Let me get my other bowl, so this way we can do a nice plate up of this, right? So check this out. All right, let's clean this up. let's bring this over here. I'm so excited. Like I wanna eat this right now. I'm gonna eat it right now, but I'm just really excited. So right here we have our scallions in ice cold water. I'm just gonna take them out of the water and put them on a paper towel so they can get dry. All right. So we don't want to add all that excess water and dilute the flavor of what we just created. All right. So we have our rice. I'm gonna do this. All right. Let's get a spoon and let's do it old school. All right. So take a little bit of rice. We're gonna pack it into this container right here like this, and then dump it over right on the top like that. By the way, for my people watching right now and watching later, if you wanted to subscribe to our newsletter where you get all the updates of everything that I'm doing when I schedule things, when you log on to Kitch, at the very top, there should be a banner that says put in your email. You want to put in my code, which my creator code, which will be ED493. If you put that in with your email, anytime I do anything, boom, it's in your inbox. All right, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, let's get this over here. Ooh, careful there. Perfect. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. Beautiful, perfect. All right, make sure everything is clean. We good? All right, yes, we got that going for us, which is nice. All right, look at this, look at this. So we can do something like this, where we put it all around. All right, come on, you can't tell me that you're not gonna tear this up the minute you make it. Like, come on, look at that. Right? Boom. That's one way you can plate this, right? Another way you can plate this is rice in the bottom, everything on top of the rice. All right. We're gonna go with the scallions around like that. And then, last but not least, we're gonna hit it with some sesame seeds, because I was like, wait a minute, is that sesame seeds? But it's crushed. So, what is stir fry without some sesame seeds? You know what I mean? And we're done. Right? I like contrast, so I do black and golden sesame seeds. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done. I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Like, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Right? Okay. So that's it. We're done. We're out of here. I'm going to tear this up. I'm going to tear this up. Oh my goodness. Whew. Let's have a bite in there. Until next time. Oh, I almost forgot my cucumbers. So with the cucumbers, I would just put it, and I like putting it on the hot stuff because heat and cucumbers does something really weird, but very interesting. All right, so just like that, right? And then we would just take a cucumber, right? Some mushroom, some rice, broccoli. So good. We out of here. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's all about mushrooms. So join me. All right. Ciao.